Hey guys, Justin Bryan here from selfmadesuccess.com, and today I want to give you a weird little trick that you can use to get more social media shares on your blog. So I'm going to take you to two different sites that do a very good job of SEO as examples, and I'm going to show you what they do to actually separate themselves from the rest of the competition and actually help themselves get more social shares by doing something that most sites actually don't do. So I'm on Quicksprout.com right now, which is a website run by Neil Patel. You've probably heard of him if you know anything about marketing or SEO. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm on one of his blog posts, and as you see up here, he only has two social share buttons. Now usually it's three. He would have a Google Plus right here usually, but it looks like he actually removed that, so he has even less social share buttons than he usually has. So what's the significance of that? So obviously this particular blog post doesn't seem to have a lot of shares, but it actually has a few hundred. It's just the counter is off. But to tell you the truth, the less social share buttons you have, probably the better. So in this post, he actually shares a case study he did on Quicksprout where his results, his social sharing numbers actually decreased by 29% when he went from 3 social share buttons to 5. So usually the main 3 social share buttons everybody likes to use are Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Those are the ones that get you the most juice in rankings as far as Google and search engines. But he added LinkedIn and Pinterest to his social sharing buttons, and what actually happened is he got less shares. Actually a third less shares, almost 29% less. That's a huge decrease. And so the thing is, he came to the conclusion that you can't put people in a position where they're like a kid in a candy store, because then they have a hard time making a decision of what action to take when they're on your blog. So I encourage you to read this case study. It's actually very interesting, but on Quicksprout, he just has this one part of this article that kind of shares a little bit about it. But when you put someone like a kid in a candy store, they have too many options. So if you give them Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google+, or even StumbleUpon, or Buffer, or Flipboard, or whatever it is, if you give them too many options, they may not share any at all. Okay, so narrow down your options, and one way to do that is to have less social share buttons. So I recommend 2 or 3, and maybe 4, kind of depending on your situation, but have fewer social share buttons so people can just make a decision, pick one, and share it without having to give too much thought or have to make a long decision about it. Okay, so another thing that I would also build on this topic with is you go to Moz.com. Moz.com, they are huge SEO authorities. They're one of the biggest SEO authorities on the internet. And as you can tell, they changed their site layout to a more centered, full width layout. In other words, they don't even have a sidebar anymore. So back on Quicksprout, you see there's a ad up here scrolling with the page, but as you go to the top, there's a sidebar here. Okay, but and he increased his social shares by getting rid of extra share buttons. So let's take it a step farther. As you can see, Moz doesn't have a lot of share buttons, but they don't have a sidebar at all. There's no sidebar. So in other words, what you want to do is just give people less choices, focus on the main choices you want them to have that get you the biggest results, and eliminate the minor ones. Like if you don't get a lot of Pinterest shares anyway, you might want to just get rid of the Pinterest share button. If you don't get a lot of LinkedIn shares, or well, LinkedIn probably doesn't contribute too much to your rankings, then you might want to eliminate the LinkedIn button. Okay, so focus on a couple of main actions you want people to take on a page, or even one action you want them to take. If you only want them to share the post, have just a few options for them to share the post. Make sure they're visible, and don't give them too many choices. Don't have ads all over the place. Don't have too many choices of actions that people need to take on your blog post. Okay, so that's pretty much all you have to do. It's kind of a weird trick. By actually eliminating social media buttons, by eliminating your sidebar, things like that, you can actually get more shares, which seems like it would be a little reverse psychology, but it works. And to be honest, it looks better anyway because it's cleaner, it's simpler, and it's less cluttered. So if you got something from this post, if you kind of picked up a strategy you might not have already learned, don't forget to like it and subscribe. And if you want to contact me directly, if you want to see more in-depth tutorials and things like that, go to selfmadesuccess.com. And don't forget to tell us what you thought about the video. Tell us what you thought about certain strategies I covered. Add another strategy to this that if you want, that could help our audience. We'd love to hear from you and let us know in the comments. And other than that, I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.